Alright, so this is mostly for people in my psychology class, but if you're not, then don't worry about it. This could be for you too. So, we were assigned, this is really gross, we were assigned to make a human brain, either a mobile or a model for psychology class, to understand like the little bits and pieces and junk. So this is my brain. It's made out of paper mache and a balloon. And what you can do is take 3 parts water and 1 part flour, mix them together, get some old newspaper, and just lay that sucker on there. I only blew it up a little bit, not too much. It's about, the size of my brain. And I'm going to be doing the full thing. So this is my head. You can sort of, it's about the same size. And so I'm going to have my head and eventually neck, and then my brain. Within the head, I'm going to chop the head in half and pull that brain sucker out of there whenever I'm ready for it. So, for the head, I grabbed, where did it go? I grabbed this. It is scrapbook paper, and it doesn't need to be good, it doesn't need to be anything special, as long as it's a color that you can work with if you're intending to paint it. And I've got my cheap dollar store paints for when I'm ready to paint this. So I have got my brain done, and my skull is still sort of in the making. I'm still putting the paper mache on, but put this down for a minute. When these dry, and you can hang them from the ceiling or put them on glasses, like I did. Yeah, that's how we do it in the ghetto. You can just sort of, it's pretty. It'll be ready to go when it's all dry and hard and stuff. And you want to take a pin and just stick it in there, and you'll want to leave even just a, I know you probably can't see that, but that's a little hole. And I'm going to pull the balloon out from there. That's where the popped sucker is going to come out, and there's a bigger one in the skull. But and so you're going to pull that out, and then I made this, you need to make this really, really thick, because what you're going to end up doing is you're going to end up cutting down the middle. And sorry, there's all these goobers on me. This is really gross. You want to get all the little boogers off, see? Yeah, see? It's a clinger. And just, just wipe that on your newspaper. And, I lost my train of thought. Boogers, yeah. And so we're going to cut this sucker in half, and then I'm going to put, saran wrap in between both of the halves. So I'll chop this in half, put saran wrap on this half, put saran wrap on that half, and then I'm going to go over the saran wrap in more paper mache. And this is so that I can have a sturdy, thick sort of, sorry I burped a little bit, thick sort of base thing, so that I can use my clay, which I was very excited about. I started a little early, and I made a dragon. Yeah, there, see? Yeah, there you go. And, and I'm gonna make this into a little scared face, probably horrified, and then when I go into class, I'm going to say, "It's time for your lobotomy, Mr. Smith," and just sort of rip the top half of his skull off and pull out his brain, and all the while he'll have this face on. So I think it's going to be pretty good. So that's it for right now. You can get all of this stuff at the dollar store. So everything I'm using right now is under like $3. You want your flour paper mache mix to not really be, can you see that? No, probably not. You don't want it to be really thick, You don't want it to be like a cream. You want it to be the same. Well, no, you do want it to be cream. You want it to be the same consistency as like whipping cream. You don't want it to be too thin. You don't want it to be too thick. So you're just gonna have to eyeball it a little bit, and whatever you're comfortable with is what you go with. And if it doesn't work out, then you can always try again, because it's not like you're using really fancy modeling clay and you have to use an urn and whatever. That's for rich people, and we live in Chilliwack, so we're not rich. These are my ghetto paints. Remember these? You used them when you were like 4 to color your Barbie magazines? Yeah, you can just use these, and when you do your scrapbook paper, these will work fine on top of that, because they're just, like, they're crappy, but they're not meant to be good. They're meant to keep you entertained when you're 4. And they'll work on that paper just fine if you want to color it, or you can use the plasticine. And if you're going to use the plasticine, or modeling clay, whatever the hell, you can do it on the face just fine. You don't need to worry about anything. As long as you paint the rest of the skull the same color as the plasticine you use, you don't need to worry about anything. But for the inside, if you're going to color it, like if you're going to paint it, then you don't have to worry about it at all. But if you're going to use plasticine, you need to make sure that I'm gonna sneeze. You need to make sure that the pieces don't get stuck together in the skull, because that'll rip junk apart and stuff. So if you're going to use plasticine, you need to make the skull pretty big so that it can all fit in there nicely and not get stuck together. I'm completely covered in flour and water and little goobers, so I'm totally gonna go wash up and go to bed and let this dry till tomorrow. So for those of you trying to make a brain model for whatever reason, some sick fantasy or for psychology class, this is the video for you. It's easy, it's cheap, and I mean, if I can do it, you can too. Later.